Well, good afternoon, folks, and welcome into the 2026 season opener for the Premier Ultimate League. Nashville Nightshade versus Philadelphia Surge. It's going to be a fantastic game, and I got to say, thank you for your patience. We've been on a weather delay for about an hour, but we are about to jump into the game today. We are live from James Lawson High School here in Nashville, Tennessee. Really excited to get underway. My name is Garrett Goj Wilson. I've got Trip Adams, a veteran here in the booth with Nashville Nightshade. Trip, how you feeling about today's game, man? 3 minutes, I think, till we're getting started. Things are going to move quick today.
We're getting started fast, and we're going to be playing a lot of Ultimate tonight. They've decided to play a little bit quicker of a half, go through half a little bit quicker, and it looks like both squads are gearing up. Nightshade on their sideline as we get closer to that 5:15 mark.
Yeah, we're about to get started. Again, we're about 3 minutes away from the game getting started. So if you're tuning in live here on YouTube, we're live streaming all over the place, and it's going to be a ton of fun. But not a lot of lead into this one. Already done team intros. I think the flip's already gone up too. We're moving very quick because we are about an hour delayed from original start time. Now, weather. Let's talk a little bit about it. Obviously, we got to talk about teams. We got to talk about MVPs. We got to talk about brand new rosters on a brand new season. A lot to break down today, but the weather is a crucial piece to the puzzle. We are in Lightning Stadium. It's literally called that. A brand new school over here. It's beautiful. And Lightning, their mascot, and I guess for good reason. We've had several lightning strikes within the area for the last hour, but it has cleared up. It is very wet on the field. We are drizzling a little bit right now. Not sure if the camera's going to pick that up. Not a ton of rain currently. Of course, if it does come down a little bit more, you should be able to see it. Right now, it's just a little drizzle. Nothing crazy, but wet conditions for sure. Wind, now that the storm has kind of passed, though, it's pretty much laid off.
It has died down quite a bit. We're looking at the American flag on the right side of the field, and there's not much movement out there.
Yeah.
It's been quite windy today, though. So while it's still wet, the conditions have definitely changed from even an hour ago when we had
definitely
some very strong gusts out there.
Yeah, weather's definitely changed. Again, rain's let off mostly, just a little drizzle. Field's draining quite nicely, which is nice being on a new facility, but either way you look at it, it's going to be wet. Those that like wearing gloves, certainly going to be needing those. And those that don't, make sure you got a towel on the sideline, folks. But, hey, it's Ultimate. Weather is the great equalizer. Very briefly, before we get started, let's quickly talk about some of these rosters. This is a season opener. We've got some brand new players on the field for both teams. Still some stars out there for both teams. Let's start with Nightshade, the home team. They're going to be in dark today, and you can see it actually a lavender, kind of light purple here.
Some new jerseys.
On the left side. They're very nice. I respect the nice new jerseys. Talk to me about a couple key hitters very quickly before we get into the game.
Yeah, that's right. They've got several new players that are looking to make a difference early. Holly Sylvant, Stacy Liu, and Claire Williams, or I believe Claire was actually playing last year, but they're all looking to make a name for themselves out there today.
Yeah, totally agree. We've got, I think, the total roster, 15 returners, 14 rookies, by the way. So about half the roster turned over. On the side of Surge, though, it's a little bit of a different story. A technical roster, around 30 players. About 13 of those are rookies. But today, only, I think, 4 of our game day rosters are rookies. A lot of experienced players returning for Surge. They went 4-2 last season, just barely missed out on the playoffs. A fantastic team. And I think, unfortunately, for Nightshade, it's kind of a proving season for them, right? This is an opportunity to take a winless season from last year, kind of turn things around. But as much as I want to talk about it, we got to get into the game very quickly. I do want to thank our sponsors. The Discraft Ultra Star is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. And of course, the live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Breakmark Ultimate Apparel. Go to breakmark.com to place your next custom team order or check out the PUL Athlete Collab Shop. Some fun stuff here with our sponsors, but we got a fun game about to be underway. You can see, obviously, Nightshade on your left, and we've got Surge on your right.
Nightshade will be pulling on defense. Talking with the coaches earlier today before the game, they're very excited about this defensive unit. They think they're going to be flying around out there very fast.
Yeah, that's right.
Playing tight defense and hoping to get some blocks early. They brought on Isaiah Mason, who is a
defensive specialist.
Defensive specialist, huge pickup. He played U24s or was on the team this past year, and now we're underway.
Yeah, Surge moving quickly as well. Nightshade, like you said, Trip, really trying to emphasize that their defense is trying to play quick. It's green light on a turn, but will there be a turn this time around? Surge going to bring this one down. Yes, deep in the end zone. Number 9 with the first score of the day very quickly.
And good movement, good flow, good spacing by Surge there. They really let their players work on that open side of the field, giving them options underneath and deep there.
I believe that is Sarah, number 9, Hironette, picking up the goal there. Yeah, very quickly. I mean, Tripp, talk to me about it. Again, we're jumping very quick into the games. We're going to be moving quick between points as well. Surge, it was pretty much wide open on the open side there, so not a ton to talk about. A nice, well-placed ball to the backside of the end zone, and Sarah was in the perfect place at the right time.
That's right. No, Nightshade did have a slight opportunity on the setting pass at the very start of the point. Was very close on getting that block, but after that, Surge kind of took over there.
Yeah, that's right. Been paying attention to O-lines here for Surge, and Sarah, a key difference maker for the team, obviously picking up her first goal of the day. And we'll continue to shout out those players, but we move over to Nightshade's O-line. Talk to me a little bit about what we can expect to see from this O roster and who we've got out there.
Yeah, they're looking to play a little more smooth compared to what their D-line was looking for. Noel and KG should be two of the ones that are going to be very consistent for this squad. As they've played quite some. And
unfortunate ball. Yeah, tries to go on the skinny, just a little bit misplaced on the inside. Surge going to pick it up here on offense on D-line now. Going to try to move the ball quickly, looking like playing out of a vert stack to start. Pretty much already into a red zone set. Nice movement so far. Number 7 picking up the disc. Trying to facilitate. Not a lot of options downfield
Stall count
here.
Rising. Got the disc off.
Number 10 going to streak over, just getting out of the lane, and I think from open to break, great defense. Not a great route, but it worked out for him.
Rebecca Fagan there on that poach block. Now, Nightshade's offense, they had some pretty solid defensive stand right there to get the disc sack, but looks like Surge is also causing some problems right here. As Nightshade gets it down the sideline, looks like a little bit of a zone right here from Surge.
Yeah, trying to throw a little junk to slow things down, especially when it's wet. Throws aren't going to be as crystal clear and perfect as you're used to. Noodle getting back into the mix. It's number 1. Watch out for Anna Gross. Noel in the 20. We're talking about Noel. Seasoned veteran, not only for Nightshade, but just in general. KG with a nice grab. Number 27 with the disc in her hand. Going to be a facilitator for this offense.
Noel and KG working back and forth right now.
Ooh, a little bit deep on the around throw there. And again, these wet conditions, part of the reason these are going to be difficult. Surge, pick it up and begin to move very quickly. One streaking deep, not open though. KG's picked up that defense on number 3. Watch out.
Looks like we got a pick on the field. Now, I would like to point out while there's a bit of a stop, there's a couple new rules for the PUL this year. First being that the buzzer beaters have been removed. Quarter 4 will also end the same as all 3 other quarters, which results the final possession. Whoever has the disc when the clock hits 0 will get to use that possession.
Yeah, we will continue to talk about the new rules as we get there, but Surge make it look easy. A break, back-to-back scores for Surge, going up 2-0 to start. I want to say that was number 18, if I saw that correctly. That's Erica Collin picking up the score there for Surge. See Erica there with gloves, obviously taller, and unfortunately for Nightshade couldn't quite figure out what to do with the fast break from Surge. Surge playing pretty much the same thing that we heard from the Nightshade coach of, hey, D-line's got to move quick, we got to move the ball fast, and because of that, they're able to get another score.
Yeah, that's right. Even with this small roster, Surge is looking to get some separation out there early. And hope to rely on their legs to carry them through this game today.
Yeah, we talked to Steve, one of their coaches, and it's kind of classic conversation when you talk about season openers and the beginning of a season in general. You know, despite the conditions, maybe take the conditions out of it, the goal today for probably both teams, but Steve in particular was talking about Surge, was saying, hey, look, we're trying to build chemistry, we're trying to build our systems, we're not trying to get fancy with anything, we're trying to play our game, and frankly, learn what our game is, right? It's take what we've already implemented in some practices and then implement that into the first game so we can set ourselves up for the season well. But, hey, conditions change some things, and the ball's moving quickly as Nashville's got it.
That's right. Looks like their second unit offense out there right now.
Yeah, traditional flow for offenses, once they get broken, usually we'll put on a second line out there, and that's exactly what we've got right now. Nashville doing a good job of using the lateral space of the field to open things up. A nice skinny this time, very well placed, and a ton of yards gained, but a great block from number 6 on Surge. That's going to be Gwen Rao. Very well done on the block to pick up one in transition. Insane.
Now they're working it to the break side. Deep shot goes up.
Number 3, Rachel Alfano brings it down. A fantastic ball to the deep space, and Rachel finds Surge's third. A quick 3-0 to start things off here in Nashville. Surge making quick work of the Nightshade at the beginning of the game, but only be able to do so because of the pace of play. When there's a break, they are picking up the disc, and they are moving extremely fast.
And Lindsay McKenna on the throwing end of that, she's been around for quite some time in the ultimate scene with a lot of experience and was able to put that disc where only her receiver could get that.
Yeah, it's a great read and a great throw. Talking about some of the MVPs, if you will, of Surge. Again, they went 4-2 last season, just barely missing out on the playoffs. Grace Maroon is a big difference maker for the Surge roster. If you know the Surge team, you know Grace. And if you don't know Surge, you may still know Grace because picked up 20 goals last season through 6 games, averaging just around 3.5 or so goals per game throughout their 6-game series. So really impressive stats from Grace. Picked up a couple assists, a couple blocks as well. You know, one key difference maker for Surge that's not here, though, Liz Hart, still on the roster this year, 12 goals, 10 assists, and 5 blocks last season. A key difference maker not showing up today, unfortunately, not on the game roster, but on the team's roster. Should see her later in the season.
That's right. And on the flip side with Nightshade, they have a lot of new players, just like you were talking about earlier, Garrett. So they're looking for someone to step up and fill that role of several of their leading goal scorers and assist scorers of last year.
Yeah, that's right. And unfortunately, trapped a bit on the sideline. Noel and Grob, 2 seasoned veterans, both play club here in Nashville or had in the past and been playing on Nightshade for a while. It looks like a foul was called on what was, frankly, a very contested upline cut here from Grace Robinson.
The Observer.
Foul is called, going to the Observer. We'll see what the ruling is. A bit of discussion. I believe they've got 20 seconds or so with the Observer to then make a call. Usually moves pretty quickly here, but nice civil discussion.
Do you believe that was called a foul? So Grace Robinson will pick up the disc.
That's a nice call for Nightshade here to maintain possession. The problem is they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Noel, a huge layout to save the day and gain some yardage. Still on the same sideline, but with a little bit more room to work. Grace Robinson, Noel, been going back and forth over and over again. Goal not called, and Grace has got it in her hands. It's been uplines all day. Will we see another? No, a streak from the back.
That's
and I think there was a pick called, if I saw that correctly, which is why our defender decided to stop on the play. Huge moment for Nightshade to potentially punch this one in. But again, haven't been able to use the lateral space anymore. See what they're able to do here on the end zone line and just beats the defender to the cone. That is
Rachel
number
Fagan.
6, Rachel Fagan, with Nightshade's first goal of the season.
She's one of the players from last year that I believe played defense, has come over on offense, has a lot of experience, and a very quick out there, and was able to display that in getting past the defender and being able to box out a little bit to get that goal.
Yeah, I mean, that was just grit, honestly, from Nashville Nightshade on the offensive play. It started out pretty clean, and then we kind of got stuck in this upline cycle just to get the reset on the stalls. Couldn't find any lateral space to play with, but some veterans kind of gritted their teeth and grinded through a little bit of contact and were able to punch it in up the sideline. Not ideal necessarily, but hey, we take what we can get, and overall just winning some of the first step races to get to the cone first, and we take those goals. 3-1 though. We're going to swing back the other way. Nightshade now on defense. A couple familiar faces out there kind of staying out on the line. I think that's Sylvia with the disc. Be starting things off with the pull. Surge on the receiving side.
She's got a big arm. Sends it off towards the sidelines. It looks like it's just out of bounds.
I think it's done. Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just barely on the outside.
And they'll be taking it at the center of the field. Nightshade looking like they might be coming out with a zone or at the very least something quite poachy.
Yeah, bracket. It looks like a bracket here to stop what would be a set play. I believe that's Sarah Leong with the disc in hand here for Surge.
It's a good job to send the disc back.
Yeah, traditionally with a bracket, you want to use the lateral space of the field to kind of open up some space. You can drive up and through it as well. But, hey, it actually does look like a zone. You're right.
Yeah.
A little bit more structured than just a simple bracket. Playing inside this small ball space. This is something Surge has utilized in the past to gain a lot of free yards. And these aren't free, certainly, but they are piecing this zone apart. A little bit of momentum. Going to try to swing it through. Number 21 with the disc currently. Linda Morse trying to be a difference maker for this roster, playing the outside kind of wing position, dropping back as almost a fourth handler on the zone.
Right outside the goal line now.
A couple steps away. Maybe a dangerous space on the field if you are not patient. Surge looking very patient right now, but still using their pace of play to their advantage.
Shade not really transitioning to person right here, as they might be now.
Yeah,
Surge is on the doorstep, and they get it in.
Very well done from Surge. That's Sarah Leong with the score, I believe, number 11. And again, just really clean zone offense there. An immediate recognition that it wasn't a full bracket. It was a full transition into zone. Once they saw that trip, they just started swinging the disc laterally as fast as humanly possible.
That's right.
So really clean zone offense there, and I think Nightshade will think twice about how they want to adjust going forward. I think one of the big things that I saw is we've got to actually step around and close off some of those around throws. It can be quite difficult in the zone. Trying to force a lot of passes, obviously, but too much lateral space, too many free throws.
Yeah, that's right. And now Nightshade right back on offense. We've got quite the fan section that weathered the storm quite literally out here tonight. We're very appreciative of them coming out to support Nightshade, support women's Frisbee, and support the PUL.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with the fan base here in Nashville. We're about 30 or so minutes outside of the downtown proper, maybe a little bit less, but a great field here. Again, James Lawson, appreciate letting PUL host here, but Nightshade got the disc in hand again. That's Noodle swinging it over to KG. KG going to continue the momentum of the disc, and it looks like Surge is setting up again. A little bit of a junk look.
Tori gets it to KG again.
Noodle in the middle. Yeah, nice gain. Yards is nobody super deep. Oh, wow. We're going to send that one to the promised land, and unfortunately not going to get there. Pretty deep on the release, but I love the belief in the teammate there. Had some momentum with the disc and decided to try to utilize it with their speed, and a hair overthrown.
Yeah, Savannah Silvant does have quite fast legs, but just not quite fast enough for that throw right there.
All right, Surge back on offense with their D-line. They're setting up in the classic vertical stack here. Put one out in the isolation space and win the ball under. Don't gain much more than that, though. That's
right. Lindsay McKenna looking deep, but chooses to swing some very tight defense there by Anna Lee. No call. Noel with the disc.
And Nashville Nightshade going to try to use the lateral space a bit more. I'm sure their coaches are talking a lot about that. And with the O-line, maybe a bit cleaner this time around. Noodle finds isolation cut down on the open side space. He's able to dish it up. Number 22 now with the disc near the end zone line. KG beats him to the cone. And KG wins the fight over to the sideline, picking up Nightshade's second goal. And it was turning out to be a pretty close game thus far.
That's right, and they did a really good job there on that second possession to swing the disc and then take what they were given on those downfield cuts.
Yeah, just looking for open passes. And, again, big shout out. I didn't catch who it was. Maybe you did on the Nightshade kind of get back. Really tight defense on what was kind of an upline cut. Or I can't remember if it was a front cone cut or front of the stack cut, or if it was an upline cut. Either way, very close defense from Nightshade.
Yeah, I believe that was Anna Lee on that defensive stop. She got just enough in the way of the Philadelphia Surge player.
That's right. We'll continue to kind of get player names down. We're Not going to lie, folks, we're pretty far away from the field, so we're – and a great booth, by the way. It's beautiful up here.
Very great.
Out of the weather. But we'll get a little bit better at recognizing faces as we squint our eyes and catch the numbers. But appreciate everybody being here. 4-2 in the season opener.
Got a bit of a roller with about 4 minutes left in this first quarter of play. We got the center by Surge. Looking like a side stack. Looking deep right away. Shot goes up. It's looking very pretty right into the hands of number 21, Linda Morris.
Yeah, Linda Morris picking up another goal here for Surge. And if I saw that correctly, that is number 19. Got to watch out for Grace Maroon. A beautiful ball downrange. Fantastic throw to the back of the end zone. And living up to the hype, certainly, Grace Maroon putting on a show for us there. That was fantastic score for Surge to get the momentum back on their side.
Yeah, that's right. Looked like a bit of a set play. Looked like they were really eyeing that with two Nightshade defenders fairly close by, but with that kind of pass, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, look, I think this Linda Morris and Grace Maroon connection is something that if you're a Surge fan, you probably saw all last season. Grace Maroon, again, talking a little bit about stats from last season, only 6 games, 20 goals, 4 assists, 4 blocks. Linda Morris, second in statistics at the very least from goals category. 12 total goals from Linda Morris last season, 9 assists, 4 blocks. So those two players definitely key difference makers for Surge last year and now this year. But Nightshade get the disc back, 5-2. We got a little less than 4 minutes on the clock.
Vert stack by Nightshade. Long under Grace Robinson with the disc. Oh, a little bit of miscommunication.
Oh, very great effort there from, I believe that's Grace.
Boost. It looks like.
Oh, that's Boost, yeah.
Rachel Barr with the grab, and it looks like they'll be talking about it a little bit. Good view by the observer, Brian, on the far side. So if they go to him, he looked like he had a pretty good view of it.
Yeah, he's very close.
Slipping and sliding a little bit on that wet grass out there.
Let me be very clear. Yeah, Rachel Boost Barr with a fantastic play to save what looked like a just missed throw, a small error there. Again, wet conditions make things difficult, but Boost with a great effort, and it looks like they're going to send the disc back just to be safe. I couldn't really tell from up here, to be honest. I think it was close. Classic ultimate play where maybe hand was underneath, but disc was on the ground. I don't know what it was, but it was close enough to send it back. So Grace Robinson with disc in hand, back with KG for Nightshade. Boost gets another nice under, but again, a slightly missed throw, a hair high. Couldn't drag that one down on the sideline. Worried maybe a bit about toes. Surge, disc back in hand.
Surge looking like a bit of a vert stack, but at an angle.
It's Chelsea Semper with the disc. Free swing. Continue momentum, but a great seal there from Noodle, number 1 for Nightshade. Getting nice lateral movement here from Surge. This time going under, and this time a slight error from Surge. And we're going to immediately send it to the end zone. And again, just a hair too hot downfield. Number 6 just barely missing the shot. That's Rebecca Fagan, just a hair overthrown. Otherwise, that's the green light we were talking about with the coach, though. As Nightshade was talking about, it's green light all day for our team. This time, not really a D-line, but either way you look at it.
Yeah, and Asta Thurman, with that D, goes straight to the end zone, knows what's up, and just unfortunately a little bit of an off throw there.
Nice under here from Surge to get the disc moving. Going to continue with another, getting closer to the sideline, and how about 3 in a row? Surge finding their sideline, saying, hey, look, we may – oh, it looks like a travel was called, actually. Just going to come back.
Players will reset. And disc is tapped back in.
Time's running low here, Trip. And, again, for the folks at home, you know how this works in Q1, in quarter 1, but now it is in every single quarter. When the time runs out, we finish the possession, not the point. Surge have gained a lot of yards on this sideline, and now they found – oh, it looks like a timeout was called, actually.
A little bit further back as well. Observers should put the disc where it's at. Timeouts here. This gives Surge the ability to swap out some players, to reset, to maybe set up a play that they can do that they're comfortable with. But this also gives Nightshade a chance to put out some defenders that they want to see out there that they think can get the disc back for them.
Yeah, maybe if you haven't tuned into a PUL broadcast before, you don't know that all players can be subbed during the timeouts. And also, coaches can call timeouts. As a coach myself, I wish that was the case in some of the leagues that I coach. But definitely a game changer here with the PUL. And because of that, both teams going to think about strategies. Of course, I mean, Tripp, briefly, things that we can talk about. Time. We got 1:27 on the clock here for quarter one. So when you think about what Surge want to do here, scoring quickly is not necessarily the goal. If you got a 3-point lead, could make it 4. Probably going to run a set play, looking like they're setting up in a host stack. Now, the opposite side, the question in my mind from, Nightshade coaching is, are they going to try to run some sort of junk set here to stop the set play and then tighten back up? Or looks like they may just line up in person and say, we'll take our chances in our 1v1s downfield. Let's see it.
Yeah, it looks like a diamond cut right there. With the continue cut not being hit, there is another cut underneath on the goal line.
Nice up line.
Shot goes up, and that's a
called.
score.
Yeah, fantastic shot up line. Just great movement.
By none other than Grace Maroon.
Yeah, at this point, I don't need to squint my eyes. Grace Maroon with big plays yet again on a great upline cut. Unfortunately, our defender was actually pretty close. Just couldn't quite get enough body contact to maintain the inside position to make a play on the disc. And a great, well-placed upline throw that they've probably practiced 10,000 times. Connects.
Yeah, and that's tough because Nightshade had a chance to get it within 2 after that D and shot into the end zone, which would have been quite a big change.
Yeah, that would have helped a lot.
3-5 instead of 2-6 now. With Nightshade really needing this next possession, not only to score, but potentially run out the clock.
Yeah, that's a good call. And that was a break, if I'm not mistaken, again, on our Nightshade O-line. So we'll bring out kind of our secondary O-line going into what could be the last point of quarter one. Now, if I had to guess here, Nightshade probably not in the business of running out the clock right now. I think they're going to try to make a play for a quick score. Could see some lateral movement into set play, maybe a +1 into a deep cut. We'll see what they set up.
And through the legs there, another 2 changes to the PUL rules this year is the clock doesn't start until that first possession throw is hit in all 4 quarters, including overtime.
Yeah, it's a good call. So clock doesn't start until first throw is out, essentially. So for stalls, and obviously the time in the air won't count towards it, but we are well underway now, 1 minute and counting. Some lateral movement as predicted in a deep shot that unfortunately is just a hair short, or rather great defensive play from Surge, frankly.
Erica Collin right there with that D. It almost looked like Nightshade wasn't ready for that throw going up, and Erica Collin was in the area there.
Yeah, and maybe didn't see Erica downfield, or maybe kind of had tunnel vision, was like, hey, this is our play, lateral movement into a deep shot, and unfortunately just wasn't deep enough to have a chance on the disc. Great defense from Surge, and they're going to send it right back the other way. This one, a bit of a laser beam downfield. And a deep ball here means that the clock is running, I believe. So
yep, that's right.
We are running out of daylight here in quarter one.
Nightshade on their goal line.
Okay,
clock does stop. With 30 seconds.
I think they're going to get it reset there, because I think on a dead disc, our clock does stop here in the final 2 minutes of each quarter. I'm not positive on that. We'll get a double checking on the rules here. It looks like they reset it, yeah. 8 seconds, here we go. Last possession, most likely. Going to take a risky ball up front, and it is stopped, but time is still on the clock, so.
Foul called. A lot going on right there at the end.
That was chaos.
Nightshade really needed to just ensure they had that possession when the clock hit 0. It's going to be close. If this call's overturned, it looks like Surge might get it. Players talking on the field, and it looks like there is no call. So Surge will get this disc, no time on the clock. Yep. Nightshade going to have a big stand here. Yeah,
to clarify, by the way, we saw the clock stop, and I started second-guessing myself. Clock continues once the play is going, but disc was technically inbounds, so no stoppage of play means we are out of time, and Surge going to try to make the most of it. No need to rush here, just have to score, and they're able to do just that. With no time remaining on the clock, they get their one possession, and yet again, Rachel Alfano finding their second goal, I believe, of the evening. That's the seventh goal for Surge to end quarter one.
And Lindsay McKenna having that pass right there as well, getting involved again. Very unfortunate. It makes you wonder if maybe the Nightshade players had their back towards the scoreboard and just couldn't see how much time was left.
Yeah,
because that would be just important to possess.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's a good.
They don't get a goal.
I think it's a good call. I think this is the beginning of the season. We're getting some of the nerves out probably. Obviously, we had the weather delay. There's a lot of uncontrollables, but what you can't control is some of those moments where even we get confused sometimes with the rules in the booth. Is hey, look, we are not going to have a chance at another possession here, so let's slow things down. Only take 100% shots, swing the disc, try to get some movement downfield, and just take it nice and easy. Nightshade is known for fast-paced play, but when the clock is at 0, there is no need to rush. It could take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, doesn't matter. You get your one possession.
That's right. Little weather update as we're ticking through the between quarters. Still got some rain out there a little bit. The wind is picking back up just a hair. The flags are waving a little bit more out there. But not too unplayable, at least right now.
Yeah, I think for players of this caliber, I don't think the wind's going to be very much a factor. We'll keep you updated on our flag on the right-hand side and what we can tell. We're nice and warm and comfy in the booth, but it looked like the wind, because we're in a stadium, it's actually swirling a little bit, was kind of going from the far sideline towards us a little bit in gusts. So keep an eye out for that if discs start going awry, headed this way. But about 2.5 minutes here between each quarter. Trip, let's briefly talk about what we saw in quarter one. Big standout performances from Surge, obviously picking up a lot of breaks, capitalizing on some mistakes, even a couple great blocks as well, well-placed deep balls. Everything seems to be going mostly right for Surge. What does Nightshade need to do to clean things up going into the second quarter to make this a bit closer going into half?
Nightshade's O-line had some really good possessions when they were being careful with the disc, swinging it, and using a lot of unders to just work the disc up the field. Where they got in trouble, and we saw that in several points towards the end there, was they started throwing these kind of leading passes down the field into tighter space.
Yeah.
And that really caused some problems as Surge was able to get in the way there. Now,
I agree.
Like you were saying, Surge, they started off throwing quite a few deep balls, but then as it progressed through that quarter, they really worked the unders as well to get them several points too. Yeah,
biggest thing, takeaways from me in the booth at the very least, and I'm sure it's a little bit different on the field, it feels like Surge is a little bit more patient with pace of play. They're able to move very quickly. The pace of play is very fast, but they're more patient with how many throws they're willing to throw before risking something downfield, right? And, of course, classic ultimate adage is whoever makes the least amount of mistakes will likely win the game, and so far that's happening right now. But if there's anything we know about Nightshade is that they can turn things around. Folks, we have a quick reminder for you that this live broadcast is brought to you by the Premier Ultimate League. The PUL is a 501c6 nonprofit. This league has been community funded since day one, and we are so grateful for your support. We ask that you consider donating to help us continue to transform and fulfill our mission here at the PUL. Head over to PremierUltimateLeague.com to donate today. PremierUltimateLeague.com, by the way, has got a lot of great stats, season schedule, all the good stuff, all right? So head over there and check it out. But we are underway with quarter two here, Trip, and Nightshade have the disc.
They work it to the break side, but no one's there. Swing it back. And Surge is just making them work with very small spaces.
Yeah, Savannah Stillavant there, 22, facilitating disc movement on the field. Number 45 with her is Anna Lee.
KG throws up a deep shot to Noelle.
Oh, a little bit on the outside, and Noelle almost reads that perfectly, but a fantastic defensive block there from Surge's number 7, Faye Epstein. A big pickup. Faye, by the way, a rookie this year for Surge, already picking up A nice deep block for the team and opening up another deep throw for Surge. This one very well read by number 20 here with Surge.
Abby Smith, I believe.
That's right. Abby Smith, another rookie for this team, finding their way onto the roster and finding a big difference maker downfield. We're going to continue to move the disc. Number 73 now, right on the end zone line on the cone. And Surge continue to use the lateral space so well, breaking the mark over and over again.
Yeah, there's Lindsay McKenna again.
Lindsay McKenna to Chelsea Semper, number 73. I believe that's Chelsea's second goal of the day, if I'm not mistaken. 8 now for Surge. And again, it's just getting that one block and then moving before the defense can get set up. This is classic Frisbee 101. If you can move before that O-line, if you will, has to transition into defense, call out their matchups, you can catch them unaware and eat up a bunch of yards, and that's exactly what Surge does.
Looks like Lindsay for Surge will stay on with this pull. We got a fresh set of legs for Nightshade on the other end. And honestly, it can happen whenever, but it needs to start at some point. For Nightshade to at least have a chance to get back in this, they need to score. And, hoping that someone on this team, someone on this line can step up right here. There's quite a few players with club experience, with a lot of club experience and a lot of PUL experience on this Nightshade line. Let's see if they can make anything happen here.
That's exactly right. Smog's going to have the disc and swing it over to Sylvia. Again, trying to use some lateral space, but trying to get a bit of give and go. And only 2 back in
Looks
a vertical
like a
stack.
zone.
Yeah, vertical stack into a zone, a no-go. So Nightshade try to transition out of quickly and just force one into coverage. Surge pick up the disc, and this is where things get a little bit rough for Nightshade if they're not able to capitalize on a retake here. Got to get a break back, got to get the disc back.
Working fast to the break side. Shot goes towards the end zone, just over the head and of Leah Shorb into the hands of Gwen Rao. Number 6, I believe.
Yeah, Melinda Alvey with the shot over the top. A lot of trust to a receiver, and it was well placed. Not only the disc, but also the trust, frankly. That was a huge pickup. And again, lateral movement into green light shots downfield is working so well for this Surge D-line. Be able to pick up score after score. 2-9, certainly not over, but Nightshade need to clean things up going forward. I think they did recognize the zone quite quickly, brought a couple folks back. They tried to crash the cup. I think it was Leah Shore, if I saw that correctly. Tried to crash the cup from kind of the backside rather than the handlers going up and through, which is fine. Unfortunately, into double coverage there. Maybe released just a hair too early. Just got a little too chaotic to bring that one down. All right.
Nightshade, their typical starting O, back out there.
Noel, KG, Noodle, all moving around the disc.
Lindsay McKenna again with the pull. Looking like they wanted it on that sideline. I don't see many of their players looking at the Nightshade offense, so I'm thinking it's going to be another zone.
Yeah, this is a really good rollout into a zone. Again, Surge trying to work on their systems, and this is one of their defensive systems. Noel trying to open up some space, and a great blade over the top from Noodle. Finds number 19 there for Nightshade. Going to swing it all the way back to Noodle on this sideline. And then find the middle shot, too, and a great layout to save a slightly too far inside shot.
Anna Lee there
Anna
with that
Lee.
great grab.
Huge save to keep the offensive flow alive. That ball, unfortunately, a hair high, and KG couldn't drag it down. So Surge get a chance deep on their side of the field, but Anna Lee had a huge layout there. That was a highlight level play.
Looking to go deep here. Fakes, throws the around instead. And Lindsay Morris.
Wow, nice. A
Lindsay
huge
McKenna,
deep ball. This
excuse
one's
me.
going to be a 50-50, though, in the end zone. Nightshade with a big block. Number 5, a huge takedown there in the end zone.
I believe that was Rebecca Fagan. Number 6.
Oh, number 6. Yeah, see, I told you it's hard to
Yeah.
see. That makes way more sense. I was looking at my roster. I was like, I don't think there's a number 5 for Nashville. Yeah, Rebecca.
Big stop there.
Yeah, that's one of those you have to bring down, especially when the score is what it is. And perfect read, played in the air, made it impossible for the offense to drag that one down. So a full reset here for Nashville's O-line. Nuda's going to send one deep with a higher stall, and
Good
Rebecca
read.
finds it. Finds it a little shallow. And Trip, they've got some nice motion here with Noel on the the high side of the field. Trying to keep things going.
Need to find a little bit of more form, I'd say, but there it is. They got in their vert stack. Stall count rising, though. What
my goodness.
D.
Holy cow, Surge. It looks like maybe a call or
There was a timeout before the throw. Coaches just sometimes know better. So Nightshade will stay with the disc coming out of this timeout. As you know, I don't know if he could see into the future, but he saw the stall count rising and knew he needed to get his team a break. And Nightshade will stay with the disc after an incredible effort by I believe, was that number 5?
I have to double check. I think it was, maybe Chad can help us out. I couldn't quite tell. It was either 5 or 10. Was it, I think it was Cash Up. Was it Cash Up on the layout? I don't know. We'll double check it. Somebody in chat can let us know if you saw it. I was too flabbergasted by the play. That was a full extension.
Incredible.
Over the shoulder layout block that unfortunately does not count. Man. I will say, Trip, I've been coaching for a long time as well. And, shout out to Nashville's coach to be able to see that into the future. Mm-hmm. There are moments like that. I mean, again, I wish I could call timeouts, not coaching the PUL. Maybe I need to so I can start doing that. But, as a coach, you can see that, like you said, there wasn't great shape downfield from Nightshade. Because of that, there wasn't going to be a lot of open cuts. And we were moving into a high stall situation. Perfect time for a timeout. Mm-hmm. Because what happens if you don't call a timeout? A really tight window throw to try to force something downfield, which oftentimes can result in a block. Okay, I'm hearing number 7 from chat, which is, it was Faye Epstein picking up the layout there. All right, I believe in you, Chad. Thank you for the help. That's Faye, a rookie for this roster, by the way, making huge plays like that. No wonder they were picked up for this season. Unfortunately, it doesn't count, but we'll take it to the bank and keep that in our minds for the future.
Nightshade working to the opposite side of the field, losing some yards in the process. Sylvia with the disc, looking for the around. Finds an open player. Rebecca again with the disc now.
And again, there was a timeout just a moment ago, so some of the personnel on the field have changed going into this flow, and you can see it. Some fresh legs opening things up here for Nightshade. So they found a lot of room to work with in the lateral space finally. A big around going up. This one will connect. Very well placed from Melanie Thomas.
Smog recovers after it goes off the tips of her hand as well. Centers it as they get towards the red zone, just around the end zone here. Looking to make some smart throws. Sylvia with it now on the near the goal line on the sideline there. Rebecca with a snag to the end zone.
Holy.
What a play.
Unreal
Holly
work.
Sillavant with the goal after a superhuman effort right there by Rebecca Fagan to keep the disc in Nightshade's possession.
Unreal. Rebecca Fagan doing it all here for Nightshade. A fantastic save into an immediate dish and score. That's Nightshade's 3rd of the day, and it was a highlight reel filled play from, or rather, highlight reel filled point from both teams.
And really put some energy back into this crowd, hopefully back into the team as well, to get them on the right track with their defense finally back on the field.
That was wild. Fun stuff happening over here in Nashville, I gotta say. Season opener. Been a banger thus far. Folks, thanks for tuning in online. We got a lot of folks in person as well, like we talked about. Conditions have kind of slowed up still. No more rain. Wind is all but gone. A little cloudy. It's like 74 degrees or so. Obviously quite humid because, well, we're in Nashville. But overall, besides maybe a wet field, this is nearly perfect conditions for some Frisbee.
Yeah, it sure is. And Would like to think that the players are enjoying it as well as they get some cheers going to, just get their team, their line out there on the field, feeling this energy.
Yeah, this is a really big break chance here for Nightshade.
And now with the smaller roster size of Surge, I'm sure all these players have been playing, but this is the first time their O-line's been out there in a bit, so there could be a little bit of rust.
We'll see. So far, so good. Still nice pressure here from Nightshade, but great around balls to stay on the high side of the field here for Surge.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing a 3-person weave with just their handlers right now as they work it up the field, letting their cutters kind of stay deeper in that space.
Wow.
Nightshade struggling a bit.
Yeah, this is really
slow
clean.
them down.
Really clean weave, dominator set, whatever you want to call it. It's clean, and it's working out well. They've moved all the way down the field into red zone, if not a bit closer than that. Closing in on the goal line. Surge moving the disc back and forth as Poppy Wagner, disc in hand, takes the shot over the top and connects. Believe that is number 21, Linda Morse, with another goal.
Wide open in the back of the end zone. Now, that was such impressive movement. I believe it was Sarah Liang, number 11, Poppy Wagner, number 16, and Grace Maroon, number 19, all handlers that were just distributing so well to each other.
Yeah.
And very impressive to see from this Philadelphia Surge team.
Yeah, Poppy Wagner, a returner for Surge, and a key difference maker for the team as well. Don't have a lot of stats on Poppy from last season, but was on the roster last season and clean handler motion.
Looks like she might have some stats on
that's right.
the line this season.
Look, I can only pull the stats that are found online, all right? Got what I got, but looking really good today. 10 goals already here for Surge in the first 2 quarters. We still got 5.5 minutes on the clock, so plenty of time for both teams. Continue to stat pad, but we're looking for our first win. We talked to Steve over on Surge's side, coach of Surge, and basically was like, hey, listen, our aspirations are to win the whole thing, right? We want to go to playoffs. We want to win it all. Just barely missed out last season. But it starts here. It starts with the first win, and a very important game for both rosters to set the tone right for their teams.
That's right, and he also mentioned it just not necessarily being about the full-on championship here, but this is where it starts to build for them.
100%. Nightshade building up some momentum right now. High side themselves, but not finding a lot of action onto the break side, so we're going to swing over to the open side. Gain a couple yards as we creep our way to the sideline and going to send it right back. Doing a better job at this point of utilizing the lateral space and not rushing anything, taking 100% shots, taking their time as the handlers work back and forth. We are in a vertical stack and downfield motion. Oh, man, unfortunately, maybe a call from Grace, I think. A foul call maybe on the upline of some contact. It was certainly tight. They've been kind of going back and forth on some contact throughout those plays because, frankly, I think Surge is playing great defense, but it might have been just a hair too much contact.
Yeah, Abby Smith on Surge.
Yeah.
I feel like you could almost see her realize she fouled
Yeah.
Grace and was a bit surprised when right away Grace didn't call it. Calls it a second later or so, and Nightshade sticks with the disc.
Wow.
Very tight space there.
Big around, unfortunately does not connect. That is Faye Epstein with yet again another block. This one certainly counts, but unfortunately Surge try to give Faye the bookends and can't quite connect in the deep space. Nightshade will get it back with a long way to go.
Even with not having much wind, I believe that's more the downfield side, so the disc is sailing a lot further that way when they're putting up those deep shots there.
Yeah, there is actually some gust. That's a good point. Looking at our flag, it is now wind kind of going right to left of your screen, so maybe the wind carrying that a bit when there wasn't wind before. But Noelle, disc back in her hand, trying to move the disc downfield from the handler space, and unfortunately our downfield cutters are just not getting open. Really great pressure here from Surge to make movement difficult in vertical stack. This is one of the key flaws of vertical stack. It's one of my favorite offenses to see.
Stall was called there, I believe.
Yeah, it was really close. Either a stall. Yeah, it must have been a stall for a stoppage play here. But all I was saying, a vertical stack trip is, I think, a great offense. It obviously splits the field with a vertical stack of people in the middle of the field. You're splitting kind of 2 lanes left and right. But for a vertical stack to work, you have to find space under the break side, right? Otherwise, you're just limiting what you can do on the field. And right now, Surge pressure and defense. Unfortunately, not only the pressure downfield, but a high stall turns into a stall out, according to our observers.
Looks like they're going to be sending everyone back to where they were when the stall happened. Have the players touch the ground, and now we're live.
That's a bummer for Nightshade. Unfortunately, just too much pressure downfield. Decision making came in just a hair too late. Surge on the goal line here, Trip.
Wow.
Beautiful ball into space. Wow. Fantastic
Great
job.
second effort by Lindsey McKenna. Once again, getting involved in the scoring for Philadelphia Surge there.
Yeah, Lindsey McKenna just saw a well-placed ball on a silver platter out into the open space and just read that well, knew it was going to float for a while and ran it down. Surge pick up their 11th. And again, Nightshade, we're looking really good there. It's just the pressure downfield. It really, the back line, the handlers have been able to get open. They've been able to reset the disc. They've been able to reset the stall most times. But after 5-6 of those throws in a row and downfield still not open, we just held onto the disc a hair too long.
There's not much you can do. I think you could see a little bit of slight frustration from Noah Holmes there as she kind of was left on an island with her other throwers back there leaving her.
Yeah, handlers clearing out and maybe not getting replaced. Yeah, that's a good point. We did talk to coaches over at Nightshade as well, and they did say we were talking about O-line, we were talking about personnel, and obviously, it's the beginning of the year rather, and so things can change. They said you'll expect to see mostly vert stack from them. Their O-line does temporarily or occasionally rather use a horizontal stack or side stack, split stack. I mean, kind of everything under the sun. I'm thinking probably as a coach, now's the right time to take a look at some different offensive flows. Even if their Surge isn't in zone, maybe we take a look at what our host stack looks like, and we can clean up our vert stack in practice after our first game here. But still going to stay in vert for the time being, as it does look like Surge is coming into maybe a full zone set this time around to make sure that nothing's going to work through the middle of the field. Good pressure in the zone. Nice pump fakes to try to open things up. We're okay with losing a little bit of yards, but got to play up and through here, and we're taking some risky around throws, but this should open things up quite a bit. Well done from Nightshade to be in the right position at the right time, and unfortunately trying to squeeze it down the lane. Number 2 here for Nightshade. That is Mel Thomas. Just barely outthrows her receiver.
Philadelphia will pick up on the sidelines. Immediate deep look here, but doesn't go for the round just yet. Stall count rising. Smog almost with that, but Anna, getting it off. Almost again. Deep shots going. Looking at least there's 3 Surge players around the end zone, but couldn't get off the throw.
Yeah, it looks like Nina Kashiap was able to get a huge around that was almost intercepted, but because it wasn't, still got some flow going for Surge.
Pick called. Throw should go back here, but Surge starting to get in the flow of things after what looked like almost a high stall count.
Yeah. Just going back into Anna's hands. Going to be low stall likely. Plenty of time to work with for Surge. Looking for an inside skinny, and it's not there. So we're just going to drive into the open side space, and a lot of pressure, but no call. Great pressure defense there from Boost. We'll put the disc back in Nightshade's hands. A big opportunity to put another one on the board for Nightshade. Again, our clock is going down quickly here for halftime. And unfortunately, maybe the disc got a bit slippery there. Came out a bit weird.
Looked like maybe even a hand block.
Was it a hand block? Surge, great pressure. Less than 60 seconds on the clock and barely missing out on another great D. This has been a back and forth point, but Surge in red zone.
Surge, not too much movement here. The fans trying to get this D involved. Surge still working it. About 30 seconds left on the clock here. And it looks like a timeout was called. Again, coach seeing that there wasn't much movement downfield. Players looking a bit tired towards the end of this quarter. Always a little bit more exhausting in the first couple games of the season, getting those legs back under you because there's nothing like that game experience going into the season that you can't really replicate until you're out here.
Yeah, it's a lot of drive cuts. It's a lot of like high intensity cuts there to try to get open, and unfortunately, you're right, things slowed way down. So a great call from the coach. I believe the disc was still in Melinda Alvey's hands, if I saw that correctly, number 13. So should see maybe a full roster change. May see Melinda leave the field again because PUL rules allow for it. Take advantage of it. Fresh legs for the last 31 seconds. Folks, as a reminder, 2026 rules. You'll see the same thing in quarter 2 that you saw in quarter 1. There are no buzzer beaters. Clock goes to 0. We finish the possession, whether that's 1 throw or 100. And, of course, Nightshade would love to get an early block, slow things down, and then punch in their 4th to end the first half of our season opener here at the PUL. It's been a fun game so far. I got to say,
good.
I was a bit worried because of the weather, frankly, if we would play at all, and things have cleared up here in Lightning Stadium. No more lightning to be seen, besides the lightning all over all of our scoreboards and all over the stadium, because lightning is the mascot here at James Lawson Stadium. But luckily, weather's nice and clean, and it's been highlight level Frisbee and a great time.
Yeah, let's see if Bobby Roos, the head coach of Philadelphia Surge, made the right call here to give his team a good shot at the
Sarah's
end zone
got
here.
the disc. Sarah Leong with the disc, going to hit the around. It's going to be number 19 now, Grace Maroon. Again, key difference maker for this roster last year, this year, probably years to come. Disc in hand, 17 seconds and counting. 16, Poppy Wagner now playing in the backfield. And again, Grace Maroon skips one, sends it for the around to try to play high side of the field. Poppy Wagner back. Number 99,
Less than
K-Spot.
5 seconds left right here.
Going to send it up. And again, no buzzer beater, so they're going to run out the clock. Now this possession can take as long as they want in red zone, and they force an around into double coverage. It does not connect, and what that means is that our half is done. The turn came just after the clock expired, and because of that, quarter 2 done and dusted, and our score in the first half is Surge 11. Nashville Nightshade 3.
And this half, don't go too far from your seat, y'all. This half is only going to be
That's right.
2.5 minutes long, similar to between other quarters. We're trying to keep the game going along. I believe several Surge players have flights later tonight that they're hoping to, get to on time, and as well as be respectful of our fans and everyone else out here.
Yeah, that's
who's, what looks like weathering the storm. It looks like the rain is picking back up a little more.
Rain picking a little bit back up, wind still staying down. But folks, we got about a 2-minute break here. Like Tripp said, we're going to take a very short break here in the booth. When we come back, it'll be the second half of our season opener here with PUL 2026 season. Nashville Nightshade versus Philadelphia Surge. We'll be right back in just a moment. All right, folks. Like we said, it's going to be a very short break. Welcome back. Nashville Nightshade versus Philadelphia Surge here with our season opener in the 2026 season of PUL. Been a lot of fun in the first half. A little bit of a one-sided matchup thus far, but it has been a blast of a game. A lot of highlight-level plays. And I think some things that maybe, hopefully, the coach talked about in the very short break for Nashville Nightshade could clean things up in the second half and maybe bring the score a little bit closer.
Yeah, would you say who would be your top players from that first half for a Nightshade, I guess, specifically for them first off?
I think Rebecca Fagan was a huge difference maker for the Nightshade team, picking up a lot of not only blocks, but just being in the right place at the right time. Anna Lee playing great as well. Any standouts for you as we're already underway into quarter 3 here with Surge with the disc?
Yeah, I think those for Nightshade specifically. Looking at Surge, Lindsay McKenna was throwing the disc so well last half.
That's right.
Along with Grace Maroon, found them both in the end zone as well several times. If they can keep that up, they're looking like they're going to have a really good start to their season and continuing on with that chemistry with the rest of their teammates.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Surge already finding some momentum. A little bit tight on the sideline, but with some nice room to work now. Going to send one over the top. That is K-Spa deep all the way to number 21, Surge.
Linda Morrissey.
Linda picks up another score. I believe maybe her third or fourth on the day. I'm starting to lose track. Linda finds another score in the end zone. And honestly, what a well-placed ball over the top. A blade cross-field to the deep space into the hands of Linda. I mean, obviously great read as well.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we saw Rebecca Fagan coming in very close, but was able to use the body to fend her off just enough to get her left hand up and grab that disc down. Very well read. And good spot on the throw as well.
Well, that's exactly right. Linda Morse, again, picking up a lot of stats here today and last season. Had 12 goals on the season last year. Well on their way to that number again or more this season. Again, I think Linda already on 3. And, well, hey, 6 games. Pick up a couple every game, and already you're double digits, nice and easy, and definitely a difference maker. But honestly, a great read, great throw. Everything worked well there for Surge to start things off. That was an O point, so we'll see if Nightshade can do the same and hold. Here comes the disc. Pull goes up from number 5. That's Lindsay McKenna, yet again for the pull for Surge. KG in the back, number 27 for Nightshade with a disc, trying to facilitate with Noodle and Noelle, number 20 and number 1. Those are going to be your main handlers.
We got a bit of a zone again that we've seen a lot today.
Wow. Whoa. Nice through ball, very close to the defenders, but open things up a little bit, gain a couple free yards, going to keep up the pace of play. No continuation up the sideline. We want to get this swing here. And unfortunately, it looks like maybe Nightshade didn't have another handler filling fast enough to be able to continue the momentum of the disc. But although we lose a few yards, we do make our way back to the middle of the field. Nightshade confident that they can throw 100 passes if need be to break through this zone. So they'll take their time. Now it looks like Rachel boosts Barr in the backfield a little bit. Now I'm going to trade back out with Noelle. Boost number, I believe, 17. On the far side, and a deflected pass almost repicked up by Noodle. But Surge, disc back in hand.
Nina Kasha with that D there. Right time, right place. Great hands to get that. And looks like Surge is right on the doorstep again. Swinging it back and forth.
Nice D. KG able to seal that one off. But Surge still in the middle of the field. A great cutback in the middle for a goal there from Surge.
Rachel Alfano, number 3 with the goal there. Good, yeah, like you said, good cut and good finish there for that goal.
I think the only thing maybe we could have done different there, if you're a Nightshade fan, is play, guard front of the field. You've got 2 defenders basically guarding the same person. We didn't split kind of open and break side, so just a cutback was able to secure a score there for Surge. But great momentum, and Surge honestly looking really clean on these break chances.
Yeah, you're correct right there. Nightshade looks like they had some momentum towards the beginning of that point, but quickly felt like they got bogged down and couldn't get moving the way they wanted to.
I agree. Again, zone's just difficult to work through, especially, you got to remember, folks, this is the beginning of the season. Some of these players have never played together before or haven't played together in a very long time. We got a lot of, turnover season to season. I mean, even Surge, who's picked up, I believe it was 13 rookies this year. We've got about 4 or 5 of those on the field today. But they've got a lot of experience and a lot of returners on the field today on their game roster. Nightshade, it's kind of the opposite story. They've got 14 total rookies on the roster, and many of them, if not most of them, are playing today as well. So a little bit more of just building chemistry in zone. It's all communication and chemistry. It's going to lead you to success here, of course, as well as patience. But nice movement so far. We're going to call it travel. I'm going to send that one back.
Yeah, I think another thing Nightshade should be looking to do is not only swing, but have someone else on that continual swing where Surge can't get in space. They're doing a really good job of keeping Nightshade contained. Wow!
A great read and a great bid.
Lindsay McKenna.
Surge's Lindsay McKenna with another fantastic play to get another block in zone. And that's just a great read from Lindsay McKenna to realize that disc has to go up through the middle of the field. Saw it, executed a great block.
Low disc right there. Number 6 snagging it, Gwen, off the ground and allowing Surge to keep possession and continue on.
Well, Lindsay McKenna going to play in the backfield and going to send one up deep. This one looks like something's going on, maybe a pick on the play. Going to send the disc right back, but it's so important to bring that one down. Going to send it right back. Lindsay McKenna, a good ball, frankly. But
yeah, she's been doing it all day.
Reset here. I'm not sure if it was. I didn't see the observer's call if it was a pick or what, but
might have been a travel or something. I couldn't tell as well.
Lindsay McKenna's got a great break side shot with the over-the-shoulder high release. Working really well to continue motion on the high side of the field. And, well, a great play back to Lindsay to get the disc staying on the high side. And then a skinny shot through the inside. Another fantastic ball and great movement. A lot of trust on this Surge roster to make, honestly, tight windows. Frankly, not even look that tight. These are well-placed balls, but these are difficult passes that they're executing on early in the season. Surge is looking very clean today.
Yeah, Abby Smith, number 20, one of those rookies for Surge, getting on the stat sheet or at least scoring another one, adding to it.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Lindsay McKenna had 25 touches, I think, on that one and the layout block. So a big point for Lindsay. Be fun to see what she's able to do for the rest of the season, and making plays like that today at the beginning of the season is good news if you're a Surge fan. Let's turn our eyes back to Nightshade, though, back on offense. You were talking a little bit about maybe some things that need to be cleaned up on offense. Zone is out, right? It's obvious Surge is playing a lot of zone. And we're seeing actually good movement with the kind of 3 core handlers, going up and through the zone a little bit more, trying to carry some forward momentum and then take some shots to the middle of the field. Obviously, Lindsay McKenna found that open middle of the field and made a big block on it. But what we're not seeing is kind of that, what we call kind of in the wing in our zone offense, that wing coming down and filling what would be either a 4th handler position or as handlers clearing up field. We don't have the continuation. Once we hit one breakthrow, we have to have another. And I think Nightshade, that's the one thing that needs to clean up in the zone offense that could change the tides for them. Otherwise, downfield cutting, it's looking good. They're playing for some of those spaces that are opening up from pump fakes by the handlers, but got to have our continuation swings to not only stay on the high side, but also gain some yards with the continuation.
This is looking more like a person defense with some sagginess on the handlers. Just clogging up the lanes here is Surge's main goal with this. And so far, Nightshade hasn't lost many yards, but hasn't gained any. So I'd say it's working pretty well.
Yeah, the handler side was really good for stopping some of these pull plays, but pull plays are out the window because Noodle's going to shoot one deep. Number 4 for Nightshade, now the disc in hand, able to bring that one down.
Thurman right there with that catch. KG with it, kind of behind, no one there, but
it's very close, right on the goal line. Number 22 here for Nightshade, now disc in hand. That's Savannah Silvant.
Stall count rising. She has to make a hammer throw. Just off the finger. Wait a second.
Coach! Our coach has saved the day yet again.
Jared Trevor with the insight.
Jared
And personally picks up the disc and puts it back
He
where
said,
it
no
was.
thank you, please. No thank you. We were losing momentum. We didn't have the motion that I liked. I saw the hammer coming from a mile away, or rather maybe 3 seconds before it went up. And yet again with the foresight to call the timeout.
Yeah, it looks like in that huddle, Nightshade's going to be keeping most of the same players out there, but giving them a break and I believe resetting the stall count coming out of that timeout.
Yeah, I think this is the right play. I mean, as long as nobody's super tired, which we just started the second half. Well, I say just started. We're already 6 minutes and 42 seconds left in third quarter, but feels like we just got started. I think these players probably aren't too gassed right now. And again, this isn't, well, hopefully for Nightshade's sake, not a very long point ahead of them. They just need to execute here in the red zone. This is what I would call probably the most important piece to a good Frisbee team is your execution percentage in red zone, especially on a dead disc like this. Could see a set play, could see just, hey, let's run our system, take our time, as many throws as it takes. Be very curious to see what Surge's defense looks like, as it looks like Noel Holmes is going to be picking up the disc.
With Anna Lee at the front of the stack, someone who you mentioned earlier has been a big factor for Nightshade early. Looks like a little bit of a poachiness to this Surge defense right here. As we get underway, Noel's looking for the reset now.
Finds Noodle.
Finds it.
That's
Noodle
a good reset.
now. No one back. Oh, a blade over the top. That's Savannah Silvant for the goal right there. Incredible vision by Noodle, who's brought some great consistency to the handler space, especially when Nightshade's been working well and is able to get it over that poachy defense that Surge was showing there.
Yeah. Honestly, I like Surge's play to play defense like a poach like that. Oftentimes when you're that close to the end zone line, you'll see a set play from an offense, especially off of the dead disc like that. And so running a poach kind of shuts everything down, causes them to think twice about what they're doing, maybe cause a mistake, but visionary shot there from Noodle over the top. The blade to the corner, unguarded, and well received by Savannah Silvant. So
yeah, that's right.
Nightshade's fourth goal of the day. And still a lot of room to work on our leaderboard, or scoreboard rather, but still a very important goal for them, and now a chance for a break.
Yeah, this game, while it is a little bit, the point differential is up there. It's important for Nightshade to continue to build this chemistry, find these goals, and at the very least score. Score 100%. Some more in hopes that maybe they can get back in this game. But even if not, they're working towards building for the rest of this season. And with about 6.5 minutes left, the lights are coming on in the stadium as we kind of get towards this evening of Ultimate Frisbee that we hope you're enjoying online with us.
Yeah, that's right. It didn't look like maybe we would get the lights on because we were going to be starting earlier, but because of the weather delay, playing under the lights here.
This sails.
Unfortunately, sails a hair too long, and I don't know if you can tell, but our wind actually did just pick up on that point a hair. And
Lyndon Morris trying to tow that one.
I think maybe if the wind hadn't gusted in their face and sailed the disc a bit longer, Lyndon might have been able to make a hero play. But a break chance here for Nightshade, and a huge save. Number 15, Sylvia, able to keep the disc alive. Still kind of trapped on the sideline. Want to use the lateral space of the field here. Again, in a vertical stack, we have to use the break space. And this time, able to find it. Nightshade swinging over, and then right back to gain some yards. Sylvia back, and now moving forward as we do find, I believe that is Shorb in the middle of the field. Continuing to find some open receivers. Again, we're looking for 100% passes only, and Sylvia making sure that is the case. This one a bit contested, but Sylvia able to get the break on the assist to number 12 on Nightshade.
Holly Silvant, back-to-back goals for the Silvants. Holly and Savannah getting in there with goals, and that's a break.
Yeah, I think Savannah and Holly, sisters, if I'm not mistaken. Savannah played on Nightshade's roster last year, and then Holly joining her sister this year and going back-to-back with the goals. And is that our first break? Is that
I believe that's the first break for Nightshade today. Great patience there, and some really good plays by Sylvia, who's been a part of this team for a couple years now and is really starting to make a name for herself. Not only on throwing, but also on making those cuts, making those catches, and keeping the disc with Nightshade there.
Yeah, really confident. Really confident give and goes from Sylvia. Very clean break offense. And that's got to put some wind in the sails of Nightshade fans, of course, if you heard them on our mics. And if you didn't, well, they're certainly getting loud for points like that.
Yeah, Isaiah Mason on the field, defensive coach for Nightshade, trying to get this line back out there to get another D and hopefully another break for them.
14-5, 5 minutes and 21 seconds on the clock. This is quarter 3, and again, there's no buzzer beater, so don't worry about that. When the clock hits 0, we are maintaining possession. Back to Surge we go on offense, trying to clean things up this time around. It's been clean all day today. This one well placed towards the sideline.
Great find. Looks like there's a bit of a zone, if not at least a poachiness to Nightshade out there right now. But Surge is not having too much trouble with it right now as they find themselves on the doorstep. Swing it around, almost a block there by Holly again, I believe.
Nice.
But Philadelphia with the goal, Sarah Liang on the score there.
Yeah, Sarah Liang on the score. Allie Milligan, number 17, with the hockey assist, was really the facilitator for that offense this time around and had been the facilitator for a couple points now for Surge. Watch out for number 17. A lot of possessions, really controlling the pace of play for Surge and really working well for them. So big shout out to Allie, a main piece of that in the handler space.
Yep, and just like that, 15-5 with a little under 5 minutes left to go. Rain is still coming down, and we have just some small gusts of wind still swirling around the stadium right now.
Yeah, I think in Nashville we don't call this rain. It's spitting a little bit. It's trickling down. It's not coming down very quickly, so you probably can't see it on our camera, but the weather's not too bad. Some of those inside shots, really the only ones that you'll probably see be a hair errant if maybe you're not wearing gloves, for instance, or can't dry your hands fast enough. The disc has been going on the field quite a bit. Inside shots sometimes a little bit slippery, can come out awry, but overall fairly clean game, especially from the Surge side. Pull comes down. Nightshade with the disc. KG as per the usual back. Noodle and number 19 from Nashville, which I believe...
Tori Radcliffe.
Yeah, that's right. Tori Radcliffe in the backfield with Noodle and KG. Going to see Grob, it looks like, get pushed downfield a little bit. It's number 18 on your field. It looks like now completely switching places, trying to play for what could just be a relief in the backfield.
Surge with the transition there from zone to person. Trying to hope that it throws Nightshade off a little bit. Deep shot goes up.
Oh, nice read from Faye. A great block. The rookie yet again making waves in the season opener for Surge. A read in the air. And unfortunately, I think that deep shot was just a hair too short. Maybe could have sent it out the back and made it a bit more of a foot race. But either way you look at it, Surge, disc back in hand. Was trying to move quickly, but Nightshade has actually transitioned to defense quickly as well.
Someone's open deep.
Oh,
shot goes up. Hard to read, but wow.
Nice grab from Surge. I want to say that's number 3, Rachel Alfano, yet again. I want to say that's Rachel's either third or fourth goal on the day.
Right.
Things are moving quick over here.
Very tough to read there. It looked like it was right behind her, and she just had to turn around and grab it right before that disc hit the ground. Looks maybe very easy to do, but very hard to pull off when the disc is just right behind you and you're running away from it.
Yeah, that's one of those as an Ultimate player you've had before where you don't catch it and you feel bad about yourself because, like, from a spectator POV, it's like, oh, that's not that hard of a catch. You're not even sprinting, but having to double back, having to reset your plan, having to catch it with one hand, it's a difficult catch. And able to read it really well and pick up a score there for Rachel is,
that's right. And
I think, a big win for them. But I got to say, a bit of foot in the mouth there from me of, I think Nightshade's defense did set up quite quickly and actually stopped a lot of the backfield motion. But I think because of that, maybe a loss or busted coverage if somebody just missed out on what was an open receiver. Frankly, unfortunately, that is an error, and it happens all the time in transition defense. So,
yeah, and I mean, that's why they're professionals and they're out there and we're up in the booth because they're able to make those plays.
That's right. That's right. Season opener, still kind of cleaning things up here to kick off what is a 6-game season into the playoffs for all of these teams, both teams with aspirations to make playoffs and potentially further. Things starting a bit smoother here for Surge. They're going to re-pull, and we've got 3 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock for quarter number 3. Disc lands, and Nightshade will continue some momentum. Melanie with a shot upfield, unfortunately. A block yet again, this time from Nina Kashyap. Just able to read that disc. It was just a hair shallow for maybe what they were intending, or didn't see their defender, so Surge, disc back in hand.
Working on the sidelines here. Not much of a reset. Very deep reset here, but towards the center of the field.
Nice defensive pressure from Nightshade. Going to force a
Just
tough around throw that, you're right, just out of reach. So Nightshade's going to pick it up, and this is what we expect to see from Nightshade on a turn. Regardless of whether they were O or D, they're going to try to swing and move the disc immediately. Fast-paced play is what they're known for. And this time, unfortunately.
Sideline there.
Yeah, I think just looking at the feet, and maybe would have been out regardless, but very close on that around.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a hard read for the receiver there. There's, I don't believe, a line on that side, so you're really having to look where those cones are, find your feet. Actually, excuse me, there is a line, but, my
unlucky.
goodness. That's why right there up calls are important, because the defender couldn't turn around in time, but lucky for them, tough catch to make and turned into a drop.
Reset, floaty in the sky, but still received. Now deep in the end zone for Nightshade. Got a lot of room to work on this field, a lot of ground to work, make up on the field, because there is a lot of field that they need to push down to go get to the score. But we're going to do that by shooting one deep, and it does sail over the top of the defender. Going to gain some yards, but unfortunately a travel called on the throw. Crowd is not happy about that one, but all is fair. There was a travel and there was an advantage because of that travel for the shot, then we're going to send it right back, and looks like it is going to stay all the way back in the end zone of Nightshade.
Yeah, fans not too happy. I don't think that's something you can go to the observers about. And we're coming back in on 4. Nightshade with the disc here. Look, fake deep. Swings towards the middle.
That was a great upline by Stacy Liu. Stacy, number 28 in the backfield, in the primary dump position right now. Going to go for the reset, and almost a miscue for an immediate reset and dish and go. So instead, we'll try to swing it to the break side. Stacy's still in the primary dump position. Letting the team know that there's a free reset anytime we need it. This time, a dish and go. Made our way up to the end zone line on our side of the field, but still a lot of room to work if we want to get to this goal. And these give and goes from Nightshade are gaining yards, and it's working well to keep the defense on their heels. Because of that, we've got some deep cuts up. This one is shot deep, but a fantastic block, and almost could have been continued for a goal, but a block from number 13.
Melinda Alvey right there, going full extension, leaving the ground, leaving her feet, and making that play. Timeout called, Philadelphia Surge right there. Wow, what a point.
Yeah, that was a grind.
Both teams have got to be quite tired right there. We've had a pretty long point, and there's less than a minute left in this quarter.
Yeah, it's a good timeout call to kind of set the scene for what could be the last possession of quarter 3. Again, what a fantastic. This is now the second or third major block from the side of Surge.
Yeah, looking around the league, this is one of 2 games going on right now where Raleigh and Austin were battling it out. In the game of the week, looks like Raleigh's taking this game, or the fourth quarter is about to start, with Raleigh up 10-6 over Austin right now. Torch having their first home opener as well.
Yeah, 2 games happening for the season opener here at the PUL 2026 season. We got to get a highlight package of today's game. I'm sure they're having a lot of highlight level plays over there as well.
Yeah,
the score doesn't really tell what the game feels like. There's been a lot of back and forth, honestly, a lot of change possessions, breaks for both teams, highlight level plays for both teams, but Surge has just been a bit cleaner, and because of that, string of goals has led us to 16-5 as we're closing out third quarter. Surge in possession now after the timeout. Still on their side of the field in their end zone. Got to work a very long way on this field, but there is no rush. They want to burn the clock out, get to 0, and then maintain possession all the way down the field trip.
That's right. And Nightshade coming out with a bit of a sag defense downfield. Looks like they're still actually in this. It might be full-on zone here. Surge getting slowed down. Definitely has some open swings right now that they're able to utilize. But downfield, Nightshade doing a good job right now.
Yeah, good pressure.
Preventing anything more than 5 or 10 yards.
Grace Maroon there on the sideline from Linda. It's going to swing all the way back to Allie. Number 17 who takes a shot downfield, and it's well received. Number 99, K-Spot with the disc. A lot of yards gained, and our timer has hit 0. This is the last possession of quarter 3.
Nightshade needs a block here if they want to prevent Surge from just getting a score. That's best result for them right now.
K-Spot with the disc, a reset into it, immediately cut back and beat the defender to the cone. That is number 16, it looks like, from
Wagner
Surge.
right there.
Pappy Wagner, a difference maker for the roster as well. I think that's Poppy's second goal in the day, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of goals for Surge. And
is that Grace Maroon on the throw?
Yeah, it was Grace Maroon.
Could be wrong.
It was Grace Maroon. It was Allie in the backfield, and it was K-Spa that finally hit that last one. So I think Grace actually got the hockey assist there, but either way you look at it, very clean. And again, you could kind of see once that timer hit 0, Surge had 0 reason to rush anything. Only took high percentage shots, took their time going through, and a great job from Surge to punch that one in. That's going to be 17th goal for Surge as we wrap up quarter number 3. Got a minute and a half on the clock here between quarters, folks. We're about to move into quarter number 4, and I got to say, it has been a dang good time here in the booth. I'm Garrett Goge Wilson. We got Tripp, a veteran of Nightshade commentary in the booth.
That's right.
And a fun game.
Yeah, it's turned out into at least a pleasant night compared to the lightning and thunder we were having earlier.
That's right. Does look like barely trickling, a little bit of rain coming down, but nothing crazy. Still the weather kind of holding in what is pretty mild conditions, all things considered.
Yeah, and we'll cut to a little commercial ad for all y'all friction before the start of the 4th here. And welcome back to this Saturday night primetime game as we begin the 4th quarter. 12 minutes are on the clock. Nightshade out there. Looks like they'll be on offense, I believe, to start this. Lindsay McKenna looking like she's going to be pulling for Surge. And let's see what happens.
Yeah, 4th quarter. This is where kind of your final opportunity to shore things up in what is our beginning of the season, first game. All the jitters are gone. Legs are starting to get a little tired. But final chance to work on some chemistry, work on some systems. So let's see what Nightshade's able to do coming out on offense. A big shout out, by the way, to all of our support crews out there. Everybody behind the scenes making this happen, for the people on the cameras, to the people on the field, our observers, all the folks that make this all possible here at the PUL and here in Nashville. Couldn't do it without you 100%. So thanks for being here. Thanks for setting this all up. Let's get into the action. Yet again, Surge in a zone, forcing Nightshade to slow things down and not play the huge pace of play that they like to, which is usually very aggressive. Slow play means that we have found our way all the way over to the sidelines, and we need to immediately get it off and swing it back. And that's what they do. But unfortunately, disc a little higher. KG maybe thought it would go further inside. And the miscue means Surge immediately pick up the disc and immediately shoot it downfield. This one long, and it still lands in the hand with another fantastic bid from Surge, number 4.
Anna Harnigan with an incredible grab there to start off this fourth quarter.
Yeah, that is just taking advantage of a tough situation there, picking up the disc, immediately taking the shot. And again, it sails just a hair far, but Anna finds the perfect bid, and frankly, a perfect bid onto some soft earth. Mm-hmm. It's wet out there, and so it's easier to bid maybe on the grass, and there's no delay, no hesitation. Got to do what you got to do to secure the goal. Anna, great pickup for Surge.
Yeah, that's right. Good defense there, too, by Nightshade. Trying to get a piece of that, get that out of the way of being catchable, and yet Anna still finding a way to make it happen.
You know, I think the good news here, if you're a Nightshade fan, is that a lot of the opportunities that we've given to Surge to execute their game plan on defensive break into possession for the goal have just been errors, unfortunately. Just either communication errors, chemistry errors. I thought you would do this, instead you did that, and therefore my throw was slightly mistimed or a little bit harder to catch. And in rainy conditions, anytime you leave any little room for error, that room for error is exasperated. It is
especially like a team with like Surge, they're going to take advantage of that, and they just start to compound, like you were saying.
Yeah, I don't think exasperated is the right word, but hey, we do what we can. It makes it hard when your room for error becomes smaller and smaller in rainy conditions. But Nightshade, disc back in hand, either way you look at it, back into the zone and back having to make good decisions to move the disc down the field.
Good fake there. Shot goes up.
Oh, no, another miscue, and maybe thought that if put far enough, maybe could have found the receiver deep inside the end zone, but a hair shallow defender is able to pick it right back up and Surge off to the races. It's green light for Surge. There's no question about it.
Yeah, Faye doing a great job there once again, just finding that spot in the zone area that she's running in. Oh, it looks like we have a call by the observer.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the call is. Do you see actually coaches stepping onto the field? I'm wondering did we have another visionary timeout a long time ago? I don't think so. But coaches stepping onto the field means something's going on.
Calling maybe someone out of bounds.
We'll see if we can get a read on what the observers are giving. So far, I have no clue. But hey, some conversation and disc headed way back.
It's still very tough to say exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I have absolutely no idea what the call was, but it looks like it's going to come all the way back. Going to stay in Surge's hands. Mm-hmm. And we've got some aficionados in chat that can help us out, but I did not see what the observer's call was. But coaches stepping on the field means somebody made it pretty early and maybe it just wasn't recognized and needed to shout a bit louder. But just coming back in, Surge has possession. Going to try to find some shape here and then move the disc. This definitely ruins some of the momentum, but they're not going to let Nightshade breathe for but a moment. Faye, disc, downfield to Kashyap. Sends it down to number 11 here for Surge on the sideline, but getting closer to the red zone position, and yet again another call.
Looks like this one might have been a pick. Everyone got set back up. Sarah with the disc. Swings it back to the center of the field. Long throw all the way across the field, and another pick.
Yeah, it looks like, picks are coming just from our shape. Everything's a little bit too congested downfield. Really need to spread out, give us some better cutting lanes so this doesn't keep happening. But Surge has plenty of room to work with in the backfield. So
yeah,
I'm not too worried about these calls. Just something that maybe we can clean up as we get deeper into quarter number 4. Obviously, clock ticking right now quite aggressively. This is not great if you're a Nightshade fan. But calls are a very important part of spirit of the game. And Kashyap talking to her defender, getting ready to probably run Surge red zone. For a cut to the front cone doesn't work. So it's going to be a give and go as per the usual in red zone. And the break throw does go up. And the break continuation, Surge making fantastic work at the break side in the red zone position, and Nightshade just couldn't get around far enough on those coverages.
Yeah, well played. Sarah Liang finds herself in the end zone with the disc for another Surge score right there.
19 goals for Surge in 3 quarters and a little bit. 5 goals here for Nightshade. Surge, again, even off of one of those calls that reset the disc, couple throws back, right when the disc was tapped in, you see what Surge was able to do? Immediately flow.
Immediately, yeah.
We're talking stall 0, stall 2 throws at the most. Very fast pace of play on these break chances for Surge, and it's working really well for them. Nightshade can't really get a handle on how to stop this flow, whether it's some of those weave sets in the backfield or just downfield cutting that comes very quickly. Surge doing a great job of capitalizing on a couple mistakes and then able to punch it in.
Yeah, does not look like they're getting very tired out there. Still making very strong cuts and finding that open space.
Hey, look, a lot of these players are used to full ultimate tournaments. A single game, you can play all the points maybe. All right, Surge going to be pulling it again. Back over to Nightshade. Looks like we've got our starting O-line back on the field here for Nightshade. Likely going to be Noodle, KG, Noel in the backfield. Receivers downfield. We got Boost on the far side. Currently with quite a bit of room to work with on the field, but we can't get the disc over there. Going to creep her way maybe towards the mid. Boost definitely the receiver they would like to get to if they can do a full continuation swing, but Zone doing a good job of actually guarding the backspace, so Noel takes the up and through, up line, gains a few yards, and sends it right back to the middle. Nightshade this time doing a pretty good job. Finally, momentum being cut down, but a nice undercut. Number 22 from Shade will send it. A risky pass, and unfortunately well read yet again by Surge.
Lindsay McKenna with the D right there. Right on the goal line. Nightshade did a great job breaking through the zone. Surge transitioned to person and was able to find that D just on a crossing cut towards the side of the field.
Yeah, Lindsay McKenna now 4 or 5 blocks on the day at least, just in the right place at the right time. Great visionary defense, but Surge, disc back in hand, was trapped on the cone, but immediately got it off, moving the disc quickly yet again for the Surge defensive line. Kashi up with the disc.
Pick call, downfield.
Take a breather here for both sides. Back in Kashyap's hands, going to try to reset it. 16 now at the disc with Surge. Finds the skinny shot, making these more difficult shots look easy, and a cut back to the mid means that Surge, disc in the middle of the field, at the middle of the field.
Good work right there as Surge continues to aggress. Deep shot goes off. Looks a little too far, and it is. That's Gwen, number 6, running down there, trying to score. And Lindsay McKenna with a rare missed shot, at least in this game.
It was actually right angle, right shot, just a hair low. Give it a little bit more air, and I think that's going to be a goal there for Surge. But opportunities knock here for Nightshade, and they got to capitalize on it. Grob going to be positioned back, trying to work through this set. Surge zone unfortunately causes a very tough pass and tries to toe it on the side. Our observers do call in and outs, and it looks like calling it in.
Gives
Noodle
a chance.
immediately shot over the top. Nice shape, but a hair too long for KG, who couldn't find the disc fast enough to double back for that reception. Again, Noodle's got great vision on the field, sees the open spaces, just can't get on the same page as
Just
her
a hair
teammates.
Too far.
Yeah, just a hair too far.
Surge starts moving, making their way down the opposite line. There's a receiver wide open, but a low throw once again. And Rebecca Fagan with the D right there to bring it back into Nashville's hands.
I want to say that's Rebecca Fagan's 3rd block on the day for Nightshade. Good read for a short pass, and Noel, disc in hand. Take a looks for the downfield position. Doesn't see anything. Needs a reset. Doesn't have it. Going to have to throw it up line and takes a nice shot. KG going to shoot one deep to Rebecca Fagan. Kind of fading out right, but a well-read disc. Well-timed jump. Rebecca Fagan gets the reception and is able to take the shot into the deep space for Rachel Boost Barr. Rebecca Fagan, great read, great shot. Not wasting any time for that assist to Boost.
That's right. Nashville moving very fast. And it started off with that great throw from, I believe, Noel Holmes with an angle
up the
around
line,
the defender, up the line, giving it to KG. KG with the deep shot, and the rest is history as Nightshade gets another one.
Yeah, I think if you're a Nightshade fan, that is great news and kind of a great light at the end of the tunnel here for what the season has for this team. Obviously, not the day that you would have wanted today, but moments like that show that you do have highlight-level players. You do have moments that, you're able to make great plays, not only great throws, but also great catches downfield. You've got great receivers, great cutters. Rebecca Fagan gets the block and gets the assist on what was or could have been a frustrating point for Nightshade, turned into a hopeful one. 19-6 currently with 5 minutes and 48 seconds. One more quick reminder. We'll probably give you one more, actually. There are no buzzer beaters in 2026, even at the end of quarter 4. It will come down to the last possession once the clock hits 0. Probably remind you one more time. Surge, disc in hand. Allie able to swing it over to the outside.
Defense in a zone, if not a very poachy middle downfield. Looks like a zone for sure from Nightshade. Surge able to break through right there. Nightshade recovers as Surge still continues to pass through kind of that middle area of that zone.
Yeah, Linda Morris is really being the facilitator. They're number 21 with the hat on. Been a facilitator all day today. We'll kind of play the backfield, work the up and throughs, and then streak downfield and go look for goals. That's what she's been doing all day today, and it's working out well. Allie with disc now in the backfield, number 17. Looking for a bit of help for the resets. Need to slow things down as Nightshade's done a good job of congesting the middle of the field, making it a lot more difficult for Surge to play at the pace of play that they would like.
Props to the two players at the front of the cup. That's a lot of running as the Surge continues to swing it back and forth across the field, but not gaining much yardage right now.
A lot of running. Number 91 there, Claire Williams, working for the cup, and unfortunately the shot over the top, all that work, and then a very well-placed blade over the top, and a great reception there for Surge. I think that's number 28, if I'm seeing that correctly, from Surge,
Taylor
which is going to be Taylor Conroy.
Linda Morris with the throw, though, quite spectacular. Two Nightshade players were so close to getting that D, but just bladed right past their outstretched arms.
That's a lot of trust, again, for game 1 of this season, to have that much trust in your teammates. Well-received catch, well-received trust. Things are really working out for Surge tonight. And I will say, zone from both teams has actually looked pretty solid. I think the one thing that's both coaches talked about, again, is that they've been working, towards this moment. They've been working and will continue to work through this game on systems. And so we want to work on our zone in, conditions like today. However, there is not a lot of wind at all. And so you can see shots like that where I assume, I don't know, but Nightshade's coaching probably were like, you know what, we'll take those, right? Mm-hmm. Really in a zone, that's kind of what you want to force. So we take those, and unfortunately it doesn't go our way. But another poll goes up, 20-6, less than 5 minutes on the clock. Nightshade's possession. That's
right. When you can make the other team make risky throws like that, maybe not potentially risky for Linda, but the riskier throw, the more you feel like your defense has achieved something that you wanted to.
Whoa. Great defense there from Surge. Chelsea Semper shut down the backfield, which allowed for Surge to pick up the block. Now with the ball on their side of the field means they've got no rush to make a play here, and unfortunately couldn't quite come down with that one. Just maybe a hair of miscommunication, and then, a great bid to try to save it.
That's right.
High ball. Nightshade able to keep possession. Rachel Boost Barr now with the disc on the high side of the field. Going to try to use the lateral space to open things up downfield. Goes all the way to Noodle. Takes the middle shot. It's exactly what you'd like to do in this set. No more zone. Looking like person right now, and it's working well for Nightshade to be back into a person or defense on them so that they can run their traditional what looks like hoe flow.
That's right. That's where Nightshade's found some success tonight. When they've been able to get that zone to transition to person.
Nice flow downfield. Going to continue the motion on high side. Number 45, disc back in hand. Going to slow things down here. KG to Noodle, and a hair too fast, trying to squeak one in there. Had enough time, and again, just another rush pass from Nightshade. great movement and against person defense, frankly.
That's right, yeah.
A lot of give and goes, a lot of less than 2-second possessions for each individual player. They're swinging the disc well, and then they just rushed it in the red zone again. It's got to be a frustrating one, but definitely something that you could fix very quickly later into the season.
That's right, and points not over yet. As Surge begins looking downfield with 2 good shots on the unders. Lindsay McKenna with the disc right now. Stall count rising.
High stall floaty ball still goes to the side of Surge. On the sideline, rather, but not going to be trapped, so the disc swings all the way back to the middle. Nice undercut. Number 20, Surge. Disc back in hand, looking to dish and go. Really able to piece apart this defense right now. You can see the tiredness starting to come in from the defensive side. As Surge are finding open pass after open pass and an insane break shot. That's one of those,
So
Trip, that I think as a player we know how difficult that throw can be onto the break side. I believe that is Faye, by the way, number 7. Faye Epstein able to pick up the score. A rookie for this roster, again, making big waves today.
She's been all over the place, yeah.
But I didn't know if you saw which number was able to throw the break shot. I missed it, but that is a very high-level break shot. And unfortunately, I think our mark was maybe just a hair too close to the thrower. And because the person that threw the assist was able to step around far enough, they had a free break side shot, low release, little air bounce, nice and clean.
Yeah, very clean right there. Faye looks like they're going to be someone very continuing to step up throughout the season for this Surge roster on both sides of the ball.
100%.
We got just under 2 minutes left. 21-6 Surge is your score currently. As we continue to wind down this season opener.
It's been a fun one. Good to see Surge come out and swing for the fences in their first game.
Yeah.
Missing probably 8 or 9 players or so on their roster today, having to travel across the country, but didn't seem to hurt them too much. Nightshade with most of their roster here. Obviously, it's a home game, but some moments of greatness from both teams.
Yeah, thank you to all the viewers online for tuning in with us. You are what helps make this league go, function, and continue to support all these amazing women and players on these teams out here today and throughout the rest of the season. We hope you continue to tune in to all the games that will be streamed throughout the season and stay up to date on all the news.
I totally agree. One more time, thanks to everybody behind the scenes too, but game's not over. 1 minute and 40 seconds on the clock. Not going to be the last possession for Nightshade. They certainly hope it's not.
That's right.
Going to try to move the ball quickly. Sylvia with the disc.
And tight defense there once again by Faye, just missing out on that D.
Going to swing to Smog. Going to swing it all the way around. Trying to keep the disc flowing and moving to open things up downfield. Unfortunately, the inside shot, yet again, I don't know if it's a wet disc or just a miscue, but inside, not quite an inside throw. Turns out to be a blade and can't quite get to the receiver the way that she wants it. So Surge, disc back in hand on the high side of the field. Nice upline, even under a bit of contact. Able to get it and immediately swings the disc. This one pretty far, but well read. Continues momentum. Surge been doing this well all day today. And another continuation goes all the way to the end zone. And Surge pick up their 22nd goal of the day.
I mean, wide open shots. Once they hit that break side, very impressive. And Anna with the throw there.
Yeah, that's to Rachel Alfano again, I believe, number 3. Hard to see from this distance, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And Rachel, I think, on 3 or 4, or maybe 4 or 5 goals at this point. I'm not sure. Yeah. Right place at the right time, and you can tell they've been practicing this idea of carrying forward the momentum of the disc, something you talk a lot about with Ultimate. Especially you talk about it with continuations. If you've played Ultimate, you know what that word is, but that's just basically continuing the momentum of the disc onto what we call the break side, right? The side the defenders aren't able to guard. And if you can continue that momentum, you see what happens. That's a 30-yard gainer, 40-yard gainer in total between 5 different players, all what I would call 100% throws.
Very impressive by Rachel as well, running down that disc out of the hands. It looked like I thought they were going to have to leave their feet, but
yeah, it's
just
close.
Easy catch after the rundown there.
Well, here we go, folks. 53 seconds on the clock. We are under 2 minutes, which means our clock doesn't start until the first pass goes up, which, of course, it just has. Noodle to KG, and then the continuation. 45 in the middle of the field now. Going to continue to move this disc quickly. This is Nightshade's play. They want player. Oh, yeah, it looks like we got a call. Yeah. Maybe a pick.
I believe so as well. It looks like they're allowing Savannah to keep the disc, meaning that disc was catchable. Defender wouldn't be able to get there, but was still picked, allowing them to catch up.
Yeah. Number 45 is Anna Lee, by the way. Kind of playing around the disc on the backside of the field. Now pushing upfield. Watch out for 45 has been, a distributor, but unfortunately couldn't get that open side floaty pass to connect. Not sure if maybe the wind carried it down or just didn't have quite as much spin as I think that was Boost would have wanted. Surge disc back in hand with 11 seconds, and unfortunately this will likely be the last possession. Surge do not need to rush anything at this point. Because of that lack of rush, they don't really have anybody in the backfield, but they still find that loopy over-the-shoulder break side high release backhand to maintain possession, and our clock does hit 0, which means this will be the last possession of the game. It will be a Surge win, but want to see it played out to fruition. Surge is going to take their time with the disc, work on their systems, and wow, a fantastic bid from number 11 here with Surge to keep the play alive.
Sarah Lee Yang with that great grab.
Again, I say this almost about most of the roster here for Surge, but key difference maker and a great save to keep things up. You can see Rachel Alfano able to not score, but able to dish it for the score. Surge will end with number 7, Faye Epstein, picking up another goal. Ending the point, ending the play, and ending the game. Trip Surge win 23-6 against Nashville Nightshade here in their season opener. What a great day of Ultimate Frisbee.
What a great day. We hope you all have enjoyed this production of the PUL opening weekend here in Nashville. Thank you for bearing with us through the weather difficulties, and we hope you all have a wonderful weekend and a great rest of this PUL season.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself, folks. Tune in for another PUL broadcast very soon. A couple more weeks of competition as we're just starting off this season. We'll see you soon.